At dawn Raven went to the sailboat's stern to exercise her legs by swimming in the sea. She felt rehabilitated from the time in the water and was ready to transmit her message to Callus. By instinct she felt a presence between her and the boat. She peered down into the depths of the water and saw a white iris that was larger than her staring back in her direction. The giant white eye blinked and the head that it was embedded in slowly rotated clockwise. Raven was pushed by the current and she flailed her arms until she regained composure. "I didn't sense you before now," said Raven. "You wouldn't," said Althazar. "How long have you been watching me?" "A long time," replied Althazar. "Is that telepathic stealth?" "You can call it that," replied Althazar. "I never learned that psi technique," said Raven. "Your brain is too small to perform the feat," said Althazar. "You don't know that for sure," said Raven. "Our brains are vastly different." Althazar's snout touched her slightly and she could not see beyond it because of its enormity. She swam down to his lips and it took longer than she expected. "A few of the giant reptiles that I looked after resembled you, but they had bad teeth. I had to be a dentist sometimes." "Do you have bad teeth as well?" she asked. He remained quiet. "Are you still angry with me from last night?" He said nothing. "Show me your teeth," said Raven. The snout raised slightly and bubbles gushed out of the opening that Raven approached. She lashed the bubbles away and settled in front of the opening. She could not see anything inside, so she pushed her hands into the opening and they pressed against an object that felt like a wall. She rubbed her hand on the surface and it felt like the teeth of the carnivorous dinosaurs that she had tamed on Cunup. An explosion of bubbles pushed Raven away and she was sent to the surface of the sea. She saw that the sailboat was within a short swim and she headed for it. Althazar emerged in his human form at the ladder and climbed onto the ship. He extended his hand to her, she clasped it, he lifted her out of the water and held her in front of him for a moment, then placed her on the deck. She took the nearby towel to dry and wrap herself. "I was worried when you left," said Raven. "Really?" asked Althazar. "I thought that you were not coming back." He said nothing. "I can only imagine what it is to be imprisoned and not be able to get all the answers you are looking for." "You can never fully imagine," said Althazar. "Nevertheless, thanks for coming back," said Raven. "I did not come back for you, Cunupian. My problem is that I am being hunted and the friendly settlements that I knew no longer exist. This boat is my only refuge right now until I can adjust to the world." "How do you know that someone is hunting you?" "There are human vessels that travel underneath the water." "Submarines, that is what they are called," said Raven. "These things have pervaded the sea during the last 4 weeks and they are pinging constantly to locate me." "You have done a good job of hiding so far," said Raven. "Of course, I was born here in the Caribbean Sea. My mother migrated to these waters from the other side of the world and my father was a king of the men whom she met here," he said.